Hello, welcome to this how-to video. In this video, I'll show you how to get access to Amazon BedRock, specifically the Claude v1 instant model, as well as the Claude v2.1 model. And how do you get access to the things like the API key to help configure your application. Specifically, I'm also going to show you how you can set up Wielded to use Claude as a chat backend, so that you can actually use Claude to generate articles. So you can say like, write me a short story about the new year. All right, so this is using Claude at the back end, right? And we need to integrate Claude into this application. So I'm going to show you how to get access to the model, as well as how to get the API key, and finally how to configure Wielded to use the backend, right? But if you are going to use the access key and secret key for application that you are building, the first part of the video is still going to be useful for you. So let's get started. First of all, what is Amazon BedRock? So Amazon BedRock is a service provided by AWS that allows you to deploy, right, and get access to different generative AI foundation models. So what is a foundation model? A foundation model is one of those AI models that can be used to generate specific things. Specifically for this video, we are interested in Anthropic's model. So Anthropic produced this model for Claude. So let's take a look at Anthropic Claude. So Claude is actually an alternative to ChatGPT. And why do people use Claude? Firstly, I think ChatGPT has a specific AI-like voice that people tend to not like it, and Claude is also one of the first model that have huge context window of 100,000, and right now with the version 2, I think it stands at 200,000 token. That means you can ingest a lot of materials and documents into Claude, and it can still make sense out of it. So I find Claude particularly useful for writing. Right, so coming back to Amazon BedRock, so Amazon BedRock gives you access to not just Anthropic's model, but other models like Coherent Meta Stability AI. So that's a stable diffusion, by the way, right? And Amazon's own foundation model, right? So through just one service itself, you can gain access to all of that. And another thing I like about Amazon BedRock security policy is that you have this, right? So it's what you send into this foundation model stays within your Amazon's account, because what they have is a private model, a private copy of the foundation model. That also means that your data is not being shared with the model provider. That means they will not be using either your prompt or your data or the output for training of the foundation model. So if data security and privacy is some of your concerns, do consider using one of these services. You can choose between AWS BedRock, or if you are looking for OpenAI model, please feel free to use Azure OpenAI. They have similar policy to not send your data into the to their foundation model provider creators themselves, right? So without further ado, so let's get started. So the first part is getting access to AWS BedRock, right? So to do that, first of all, you need to have an AWS account and make sure building is enabled on your AWS account. So once you have done that, you need to head over to your AWS account, right? And it is likely you're not be able to find it under recently visit. So go ahead under the search sidebar, click on Amazon BedRock, right? And make sure that you are in one of those regions that have BedRock supported. So if you were to click on the top right hand corner over here, you can see these are some of the regions that you can find the different models. So because I'm in Asia, and also that the servers in Wielded are also in Asia, it makes sense for me to pick one of this Asia region, right? But depending if you are in other parts of the world, say Europe or US, you might want to choose a region that's closer to you. The latency for the model response is going to be much faster, right? So you do not have, so once you click onto it and get started, they will say welcome, and you can manage model access. So by default, you will not have model access to any of this model. You have to request for it specifically, and they have to enable it for you, right? So what you can do is that you can head over here, and then you can see whether the model are available, and you can actually request for model access by submitting your use case. So in this case, you can see that this it's not in this account, I'm not getting the model access. So I'm going to head over to somewhere like, let's say, North Virginia, right? And over here I can see what are, okay, you can see that there's a lot more models that I can use, right? So for you to get access to this, you have to submit a use case, especially for Anthropic. So what you'll do is you can head over to here and click on, so select the class of model that you like to use it for, and then click on request model access, right? And the model request will be sent, right? You may be required to submit a use case or a website to tell them, why you want the model access. So make sure you do that, right? And typically it takes about 24 to 48 hours for the model access to be granted. And when you have received the model access, you will actually receive an email from AWS telling you and welcoming you to this model. So now, once you have gotten the access, this is what your console will look like, right? So I have access to the model in the Tokyo region, right? And you will be able to see that under the base model, you will see access granted for your access status, right? So for those of you who are considering, using AWS BedRock to power Wielded, right? I'll recommend either using the Singapore or the Japan model access regardless of where you are, because the Wielded server is co-located around Asia. So now, once you are you have access to this, right? One way you can play around with it is that you can head over to the playground. So select chat, right? That's where you can start to see, okay, I can select the models that I have access to, let's say Claude, and you can put throughput on demand, right? And then that's where you can write me a joke. Okay, there you go. So that's where you can start testing out the model itself already. Now, how do you get access to the model programmatically, right? You actually have to use IAM, right? So over here, I'm going to teach you how to create a new user under IAM. So head over to the search bar once again and click on IAM, enter IAM on the search bar and click on this. Right, so this is the way that you can create programmatic access to your user. So over here, I'm going to create a new user. Right, just click on the right here on at the top right, like testing BedRock. Right, so that's where you can put testing BedRock, and okay, you don't have to check this because this is not a user that needs to log into the console, right? Once you are here, you might want to attach the policy directly. So instead of giving it all access, right, actually just search for BedRock, okay? So once you are over at BedRock, you can see there's the policy, right, that allows you to describe, pass role to all of that. So this is the policy that you want to attach to this user. The reason you are attaching a single policy only is so that the key does not have almighty access to all the resources within this account. So if somehow the keys, the secret of the keys get leaked, right, you don't actually have to, it's not so much of a big deal, right, because all they can do is access, your Amazon BedRock services. Now, once you have selected the Amazon BedRock full access permission, click on next, right, and then click on create users, right. So once you are there, right, you can see it within your users. Click on it, right, and head over to the tab on security credentials, and that's where you can see this section here that says access key, right. This is what you need to to actually use the model from either your SDK or in this case the Wielded platform as a foundation model. So click on create access key, right? Select the first command line interface confirmation and just check on this and click on next, right? You don't actually have to give it a tag. Just go ahead and create access key. Now this is where you would have three different things that you need for your software. The first one is the access key, right? It is this one over here. The second one is the secret access key, right? And if you want if you want to see in plain text, you can actually click on show and it will display the value in plain text for you. Now, the next thing is actually the AWS region where your BedRock, where you have access to BedRock, okay? So over here, I'm going to use these three pieces of information and I'm going to go into different workspace altogether, right? So this is my Wielded workspace, right? If you come into this workspace for the first time, right, it will tell you that you will need to integrate an AI model. And how do you do that? You go to setting, click on integration and select the AWS BedRock integration. So in this case, I have access to both Claude models, right? And I'm going to integrate just one for the purpose of demonstration. So remember the three information. First is the access key. So go over to IAM, copy the access key, and then now head back to this panel and paste it in. The next value is the secret key. So copy the secret key from your console again, and then paste it under the AWS secret key, right? And finally is actually the AWS region. So to get access to the AWS region, simply just go back to BedRock once again, right? And then you can make sure that this is being selected. You can see the region is actually AP Northeast 1, right? If you want to copy the text value, it's actually right in the URL. So you can go ahead and copy this from the URL, right? AP Northeast 1, right? And paste it here. And there you go, you have all the information that you need to set up your foundation model. Simply click on Add AWS Integration, right? And you can proceed to add the other model, right? So, let's also do that since we are here. So let's do foundation model, right? We already have the region, right? And okay, this is why you need to keep your access key. So I can't add this now because I have not saved the access key. So when you have the secret key, you might want to write it somewhere safe because you'll not be able to generate the same secret key again. You can attach a new secret key if you wish. So I'm going to show you how you can request for a new secret key. So once you go into IAM, right, again, go into users, select the one that you have, which is testing BedRock, and under security credentials, you have access key. You can create yet another one to attach it, but there's no way you can get the secret key once again, right? You can revoke the key if you so wish to. So this is another access key. I've copied this, right? I paste it here, and this is another secret access key. Copy that and paste it here. So there you are. I have both of the Claude integration now, and the moment I exit this, you can see that the workspace has now been configured, right? So from here, I can actually select Claude 2.1 and ask it to write me a short romance story. And this is Claude 2.1 writing a short romance story for me. And you can see I can use this alongside with Wielded, right, to help me with my workflow if I'm doing it for writing, for SEO purpose, for research purpose, and so on. So this is the video for number one, getting access to the AWS BedRock model. Number two, getting the API and credentials required for your software programmatic access. And number three, setting it up in Wielded. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, feel free to add it in the YouTube comment below.